It is Monday, July 6th, 2020. You're listening to the Rough Tumble Podcast.
You are now listening to the Rough Tumble Podcast.
Today is the Lonely Podcast Part 2. I am all by myself. You're actually in my bedroom right now. It's pretty intimate. My dogs are here with me. I tried doing this last night. It's Monday morning. I haven't. The episode's supposed to come out Monday morning, but I haven't even released it yet. I haven't even recorded it yet. I'm recording it now. I tried recording it last night, and our house is a disaster. This is the cleanest part. You're looking at the cleanest part of the house right now, and I cleaned it specifically for this. I even shaved for this. But the rest of the house is a complete wreck because we are renovating and getting the baby's room finished and ready for when she comes. So the rest of the house is a disaster. I feel like that meme with the dog that's like at the computer and it says like everything else is like burning down around him, and he's like, everything is fine, this is fine. That's what I feel like right now, because my house is a fucking disaster right now. But anyways, I'm by myself. Mitch is out of town. It's Stephanie's birthday today, so big happy birthday to her. Thank you, Stephanie, for everything that you do. Even though you're not doing anything today, taking the day off, I guess. No, I kicked everybody off because I was like, I'm going to do it on my own today. Just too difficult to meet up with everybody this week. And we do these episodes weekly. Like, we'll record it Sunday, the episode that releases the following day. So if like one little thing goes wrong, that's why sometimes we're all over the place. Because like, you know, we'll have something big planned out, and it just doesn't, you know, something falls through, and then we've got to scramble to like get a location or do whatever. So that's kind of where we ended up this week. And a lot of that too is we knew this a week ahead of time. Like, we knew that Mitch was going to be out of town. I just procrastinated on getting something done about it. So here we are, Monday, the day that it's supposed to come out, and I'm recording by myself, talking to my computer monitor. But so Mitch is out of town. Stephanie's birthday. Big happy birthday to her. We love you, Stephanie. And like I said, everything you do for us. She really works hard and tries a lot on this podcast, so we appreciate her. And then what else is going on? There's not a lot going on in the world. Everybody in Jiu-Jitsu is fucking douchebags. We already knew this. Renzo Gracie he got called out for quoting a Nazi, and then just like doubled down on it hardcore. And you know, it could have been really easy for him just to be like, I don't know who I was talking about. I didn't understand the gravity of the situation. Sorry. And then, you know, move on. And nope, he didn't. He just went 100% doubled down on it. And then Ricardo De La Riva, I feel like he did the same thing. He gets accused of sexual assault, so he fucking kicks all of the women out of his gym. Like, you're doubling down. Like, I don't know how else you can make yourself look that guilty. Like, I mean, it's just stupidity. Really, really dumb move on his part, whether he's guilty or he's innocent. Like, I don't know the full, you know, I wasn't there. There's only two people that know whether he's guilty, innocent for sure. So either direction is just about choice, I think. So there's that. Don't base your life on black belts that are shitty. I mean, like I've talked about this before. Like it's kind of hypocritical because I'm sitting here telling you what to do, or like I have this podcast and I'll kind of state my opinions on Instagram every once in a while. But it's like, don't base it's okay to like form opinions based around people that you look up to, but understand that those people aren't perfect. And you need to be cautious with that, and one of the things that I really can't stand is like Jeff Glover, who I always liked. He's a really exciting jiu-jitsu guy, but he lost a lot of my respect because as soon as this coronavirus COVID-19 stuff happened, he gets on Instagram and the first thing that he says, I mean, he doesn't post stories hardly ever. And so like he found it important enough to go onto his Instagram stories to tell you, and I quote, at one point he says, as a black belt and a well-respected member of the community, I'm telling you guys, you don't have to wear a mask. If somebody prefaces something with as a black belt or I'm a black belt, like you should stop listening right there, because like now they're trying to leverage their position in a community to get you to agree with their opinion because they don't have any factual evidence to back that up. Does that make sense? Like I don't have any facts to support my argument. So my mechanism for getting my opinion understood or across is leveraging my position in the community. I mean, that's just absurd. That's stupid. Don't follow those people. If somebody says that, I mean, like that's the first thing. But here I am as a black belt telling you guys how to form your opinions and live your life. I just think that it's stupid. It's just nonsense. Me and another person were having a talk about like, it seems like your level of influence, once you get to a certain point, like your level of internet points, your level of likes and followers, that kind of thing, your reach, right? Once you get to a certain point, you're no longer addressing people on an individual basis. I feel like now you're addressing people as a group, and people think differently as a group than they do as individuals. I mean, like we've known that for a long time, but I think we're seeing the effects of it in social media now, and I think that's where it's different. Imagine like the hive mind, or like the that kind of thing. Like you have a huge group of people that are passionate about something. You can get somebody that is just spouting nonsense, and we've seen it before. We've seen it happen. It's happening all around us. But you get somebody that's just spouting nonsense, and all of a sudden that group just like, normally if you interviewed these people as individuals, they would have one opinion, but then they just like go fucking berserk when they're in a group. And I think that now we're learning that with social media. Again, these are my opinions that I'm forcing upon you as a group. And so, that I don't like getting too political. That's my political opinion. Speaking of politics, I need to look this up. I don't know. I've seen a lot this morning about Kanye West, and I don't know what's going on with that. Later in the episode, we're going to go on the unpopular opinion subreddit. That's where I was looking at right now. I thought I saw something about like he was running for president. Okay, just when you thought 2020 couldn't get any worse, along comes Kanye West. Wow, Johnny, sound it out here. Can't read. Let's see. Along comes another unstable, race-baiting billionaire narcissist to turn the election into a farce that could save Trump. For the love of God and America, Kanye, don't do it. Oh, yeah, this is getting... So now he's like... Oh, he's running for president. Stupid. Oh, my God. Good. Here we go. Kanye West is running for president. God, like, we should stop making jokes. That's what I think. I think our jokes are getting out of hand and they're becoming reality. You remember when, like, oh man, people used to make jokes like Kanye was going to be president or Kanye run for president, that kind of thing. And now, okay. So I put out some questions asking for some questions on Instagram. And we got a couple of good, responses here. One of them, just topics to talk about and blah, blah, blah. Cause I don't know what to talk about by myself. It turns out I don't have all that much to say when people aren't in front of me, when people aren't listening. So we've got 5 or 6 here. First one though, promotions coming back after coronavirus, like how to move forward with promotions, promoting maybe a new blue belt or whatever, even people to black belt, after coronavirus. My honest opinion is I don't know. I've been off the mats the past 4 months. I feel like Jesus, I haven't been on the mats doing anything in a while. And this is the longest I've said before, this is the longest I've ever taken off from the gym. Of course, I haven't up until this, I haven't taken more than a week off in 12, 13 years. So I don't really know how it's going to affect me personally. Like, I don't know. I can't even get down on my knee yet. I go back to the gym tomorrow, but I can't like be down on my knees yet. I can walk around and bark orders at people and that's about it. And so I don't know, like, I just don't know. I have no idea what I'm going to look like when I come back. And I know that my standards haven't changed. My, if I look at a white belt and they're rolling and, I know whether they look like they need a blue belt or blue belt needs to be promoted purple, so on and so forth. I know that hasn't changed. I don't know what everybody's going to look like though, coming back after this. A lot of my gym has stayed busier than I have for sure. When we first started, we were just doing workouts. Now we're doing like isolated groups, that can roll. So which I kind of like. I think it'll be interesting coming back, and seeing about moving forward with that kind of model, because basically what we're doing right now is we're limiting like 4 to 5, even up to 6, per group. And each group, has 2 scheduled time slots per week. They're restricted to only train during those time slots. This way, and with their group of people, and we have at least one higher rank in each group to kind of be the instructor and the key holder, right? The person that opens up and the responsible person, basically. So that way we can, if there's an outbreak, we can isolate it to just that one group. We don't have to quarantine everybody. And just that one group is isolated, which I think is pretty cool, because whenever I come back, even just thinking without the coronavirus, now I have a system or a procedure in place to allow my higher ranks to get teaching experience. And then let's say that, we haven't been doing open mat, but then we usually have open mats on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that would be kind of the day that everybody gets to roll together and everybody gets to train together. Again, after coronavirus, COVID, or whatever, pretending that doesn't exist. So this would allow me to, like, my higher ranks, they get more teaching experience, and now we have more styles in the gym, right? Like if I have a purple or a brown belt teaching a group, maybe they're really good at half guard and that's like their game. Now their group is going to reflect that more so than if I'm teaching a group, everybody, then just everybody's going to be good at like fucking butterfly guard or something. So now you have like people that are a little bit more specialized in each area that can move, or that can influence their group to train like that. And then when everybody comes together, they get to refine it against other styles and so on and so forth. So I like that model. Back to the question though, the promotions moving forward. In my opinion, obviously there's like being out of shape and so on and all of that. But for instance, if you're a white belt and you were looking at getting your blue belt before coronavirus, you were like right there. The retention of the knowledge and the understanding should still be there. The movement should relatively still be there. Because if you're a white belt and you're about to get your blue belt and then you take 2 months off and you forget all your technique, well, then you probably didn't deserve your blue belt to begin with. You know what I'm saying? Like you forgot all your technique, but in that time you just don't know how to roll. What? Like that doesn't make any sense. So like it's not just the obtaining the knowledge, but it's also retaining the knowledge. That sounds like super cliche and like a little thing that people say, but it's about retaining the knowledge. Otherwise we wouldn't drill so much. Otherwise we wouldn't have like these muscle memory things that we do over and over again. So that information should still be retained throughout a break like that. If you were blue looking at going at purple in my gym, I feel like you should probably still you should still be looking at going purple within a relatively decent timeline of coming back. Now, the way that we do promotions is pretty different from a lot of people. We typically will do like a rank review where everybody comes together, and again, this like supports that model. Everybody comes together from all of our different classes because we have different groups and all of that, and that's kind of our time to like celebrate each other and we treat it like it's a seminar of all of our ranks get to teach something, and so they everybody gets something out of it. So anyways, that model, I don't know what's gonna happen there. So I mean, my honest answer is I don't know, because I haven't been through a pandemic before, so I don't know how to move forward from a pandemic. So we'll see. Another question we had. Thank you for all the questions, by the way. Really great. It's also like 8 a.m. right now, so I'm tired. Thank you for all the questions, everybody. That's awesome. I love it whenever we get like people communicating with us just about the episodes and so all that stuff. We have some really interesting fans starting to pop up. Oh, I gotta remember. We've been getting some wild comments from some interesting people on our Count Dante episode. I don't want to call anybody out, but if you're on our YouTube page, go to that episode, scroll through the comments, and just look through their profiles. Just kind of creep through some of their profiles. There's some interesting ones for sure. So another question that we had was favorite city that I've been in. I don't know. There's a couple of favorite cities. Chicago is one of them. I really love Chicago, but not like, I like walking through Chicago. I don't want to live in Chicago. I really like Salt Lake City, which has come up a lot for me. I'm working with a guy out of Salt Lake City right now. And so like in the future, I'll be traveling a lot to Salt Lake City, but I don't know if I'll be moving there or anything like that. But because I have my gym and all of that business. But Minneapolis I really like a lot too. I was there when it was pretty cold, so I'd like to go back when it's warmer. It's it's just a cool city. I like it and enjoy it. But I'd say like Salt Lake City was definitely one of my favorites. Like I said, Minneapolis, Rio de Janeiro, like that was a really cool place to go. Again, I don't know if I want to live there, but it was really cool to go visit. And but yeah, there's so many like, I think there's just so many cool places everywhere. Like I think that's one of the most important things since I'm having a child. I've been thinking more about like what was important to me growing up. What did my parents do for me that I felt was really important? And I think traveling was one of them. Like my parents, we always traveled. We took road trips everywhere. I was born in another country. We went back and forth between that country. We traveled all over the United States. And I kind of have my whole life. And I think it's really important to see, all different cultures from an early age for obvious reasons. I mean, I don't feel like I have to explain why it's important for people to experience different cultures. But that's my rant for that. We've only been going for 20 minutes. That's the problem with doing these episodes by myself. I've been talking for 20 minutes right now. I don't know that I've talked for an hour straight ever to anybody. This is probably the longest that I've continuously talked with it. Well, I guess I did that the other the lonely podcast episode 1. But now yeah, who talks for fucking 1 hour to about anything? That's a long time. If you in your life regularly talk about an hour or for an hour, I want you to message me because I want to put you on that podcast. I bet Robert Drysdale, I bet he talks for 1 hour straight, pretty often. That guy's like an encyclopedia. That was crazy. I don't know. I don't know that much about anything that I could talk for an hour. Like I'd say if we're talking for an hour, I'm going to say 20% of it is made up by ums and silence. Another like, I don't know. I'm going to fuck up the math on this. I've already fucked up the math on this, but, a good percentage of it is me just making up. I'd say like 50% of it is just me making up scenarios to talk about and daydream about. Yeah, I don't know shit about fuck. I don't know what to talk about for an hour. That's crazy. Okay, next thing to talk about knee surgery. We had another fan that I actually ran into while I was getting my doctor's appointment for my knee surgery. He was getting diagnosed and finding out what he needed to do about his knee. He had a complete like knee reconstruction. So I can attest to what his was like. Mine, other than problems with the actual doctor, like the actual clinic, as far as like I couldn't get a prescription filled, they wouldn't like. It was just nonsense. They treated me like I was stupid most of the time. I'd ask questions like, so for instance, like I got I think I talked about this on the podcast, but I got my prescription filled. I needed to get a prescription filled, so I called up there and I was like, hey, I need you to call in this order to Walgreens. They said, okay, great, we'll get it done. Well, they didn't get it done. So the next day I had to call back and be like, hey, I called up yesterday. I wanted to get a prescription called in. And the first thing she says, we don't call them in, we digitally send them in. And I was like, I don't fucking care if you send it by a carrier pigeon. Like, get it fucking done. So like, just stupid stuff like that. Like, why does that matter how you got it done? Like, just get it done. That's the point. And so stuff like that. But knee surgery, mine's been great. I'm back to walking. I don't have a limp or really anything. It aches every now and then. And I can't, I can't be down on my knees yet. And I don't have like that full mobility that I need out of it. But I think that's coming. So, we'll see moving forward from there. I know that, Michael, your surgery is considerably different. It sounds like it's pretty fucking painful. He had complete knee reconstruction. That's totally different. I had the bursa sac. So there's like basically like a pouch that sits right on top of your knee that has like some fluid in it that I guess protects your tendons or something in there. And mine got damaged from being on the mat so much, then it swelled up, and we couldn't get the fluid to, we would drain it and it would just blow back up. Basically, I had cauliflower ear on my knee. So they took that sac out and now it shouldn't be a problem. So that was my knee surgery. Not terribly invasive. I've got a neat little scar, but even that's healing up really well. We went ghost hunting. The last episode, we talked about it a little bit. We went ghost hunting. I quote unquote ghost hunting. We went and scared the shit out of ourselves at nothing at the Axe House with our ghost hunting apps. But we found, I've got a video for that coming out, by the way. I think we're just going to release this one in like clips because there's nothing really all that interesting about it. It's just mostly us scaring the dog shit out of ourselves. But there's an app called Randonautica, I think. And supposedly the way that it works, I've been watching videos on it and it looks pretty scary. It looks weird, but it's probably going to be nothing. And we're just going to scare the shit out of ourselves, which is content, baby. So the way that it works apparently is like you download it. It asks for your location or whatever. Like Chinese hackers come get me. Whatever. So then you're supposed to like state your intentions. You're supposed to think about what you want with this app. What do you want out of it? Better posture is what I want, Jonathan. Let's go. Okay. That's my Christian name, by the way, Jonathan. So you state what you want out of it. I want money. I don't know, like, it could be evil intentions or good intentions, basically. If you think evil things, then bad things, it leads you to bad things. It'll drop a location on your map that you're supposed to then go to. And I guess that location is supposed to be like a hot spot for activity. You're supposed to go to that for paranormal activity or whatever. You're supposed to go to that location and it'll lead you to something interesting. There's like videos, there's like a news report. Like this is actually what happened. They have video of it, of them doing this, everything. This happened like recently in Seattle. They're doing the randonauting, or it's called randonauting. And they go to this location. It's like by the water. There's a suitcase. They start poking it and they open it. There's a fucking dead body inside the suitcase. This app supposedly led them to where a dead body was. Like they called the police. The news came out. It's like on the internet. It's on the news, everything. Like it actually happened. Weird. That's crazy. I don't want to find a dead body. Maybe like some money or a cool like creepy house or something, but no dead bodies. That's not what my intentions are. So yeah, our ghost hunting video though, it's not all that funny. I don't think it's that great, but you guys might think it's funny. Basically I'm scared of my own shadow and so is Mitch. And it's us creeping ourselves out. And then, yeah, that's it. Okay. So I did have another topic for a future episode that I'm going to tell you about now. But I want to go back and do we talked about like some of our roots of this podcast. This is 45. We're coming up on 50, by the way. Like kind of our roots, like where we started was just me and Mitch talking and just hanging out and bullshitting, which we really enjoy. And we're going to, of course we're always going to do that with guests or without guests, with topics, without topics. But when you're doing this like as a weekly thing, it starts to become kind of difficult to find topics to continue with, because like, for instance, we got to start where we started in podcasting. We were like doing it just he and I talking. Now we're at a point, and then we started doing obscure martial arts, just different martial artists martial arts that we found interesting. And that's where I felt like the real core of the podcast was. So I always want to like circle around to that. But the problem is there's only so many like obscure martial arts. That's part of what it is obscure. There's not a lot of them. So like it's tough to find a lot of them to talk about. If you know of one, let me know. But I recently stumbled across, and I've seen a little bit about it before, but I think it's pronounced Bok or Bok. It's Mongolian wrestling, and it's pretty interesting. Like, basically, they wear like blue whitey tighties. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Bluey tighties, and then this, like, if you can see. If you're watching the YouTube, you can see like they just have long sleeves. That's it, just long sleeves. And then it connects in the back. The chest is like open. So you put your arms in these sleeves that are connected in the back. And then you like tie a piece of rope in the front to connect it in the front. Excuse me. So, and then you have what looks like cowboy boots on and a silly hat. And then you have a guy that, who's dressed like a monk that referees, a monk in cowboy boots. And but it's like a blend of judo and wrestling. You can grip the sleeves. You've got like a lot of upper body wrestling, that kind of thing. You're trying to get throws and all of that. And so it's like this interesting blend of judo and wrestling. And the other interesting thing that I found was their ranking structure is named after animals. So rather than like colors like we have, theirs is like falcon rank, lion rank, hawk rank, or whatever. Like, and we'll get deeper into that into the episode. But I thought that was pretty interesting too. So yeah, we'll talk about Mongolian wrestling on a future episode. I think that'd be a really great one. But right now, I'd like to introduce a segment called Unpopular Opinions on Reddit. Some of these are pretty dicey. I'm looking at the first one and I already can't talk about it. It's I have no place to talk about it, but here we go. Very first one of the day remember, this is unpopular opinion. I fully expect most of these to be like racist comments or sexist comments, like it's an unpopular opinion, but I don't think that women should be out of the kitchen or something like that, and then everybody, but I don't know, we'll see. The very first one though, it says, as a woman, so here a man is reading, as a woman, it irritates me how other women, again, I'm not other women, so I'm no way involved in this, won't admit that life can be better as a woman. I see where I understand where she's coming from. Like, I mentioned it. I've talked about it before. Is like, girls. There are a lot of girls like let's take the internet, for example. All you have to have a fat ass and a decent body. And not even that, like, you don't even have to do that anymore. You just use a lot of fucking filters or whatever and like put yourself out there, and you're going to get followers and likes because men are fucking scumbags. There are a lot of things that girls can do because of their influence on men, but there's a lot of things that men can do and have done because of their influence on women. Like, it's just differences in how we react to one another. And again, these are just my opinions. Like, I don't know what it's like to be a woman or how hard it is to be a woman, but I think that our differences should be celebrated and not discouraged. Girls, if you want to shake your ass on the internet and make money, do it. I'm probably going to watch. But I also mentioned this the other day. There's I didn't mention this on the podcast. I was talking to, now I get confused on like if I was talking to my fiance or if I was on the podcast talking. But I was talking about like, there's girls on like, that are like in porn and they'll post something like, can't wait for the day that I find a man that spoils me just as much as I spoil myself. And like in the back of my head, go get it, girl. But I'm thinking like, you're having to suck dick on film to get that money. And then you expect some guy to come around and treat and spend the same amount of money on you. Not saying that it's wrong what she's doing, but like she's making money. That's her thing. But there's a certain part of yourself that you kind of have to give up to do that. And she's expecting a guy to also do the same thing. I mean, like, if that's what you're expecting, if that's what your standards are, great. Good luck finding, there's only one industry I know of where you're going to find guys that are willing to give that up to make that kind of money, that kind of quick, easy cash. But then again, you could find some like, millionaire or something that's going to blow all their money on you. Who knows? I don't know. It's all about what's important to you, I guess. Moving on from that before I get canceled. Let's see. Let's go to like the top of the month. Oh, here you go. Oops. If dating apps are going to let you filter someone out based on something, if dating apps let you filter by ethnicity, they should let you filter by body size. I didn't know that dating apps let you filter by ethnicity. Is that real? That can actually, people will do that? I mean, I don't think that's like, I guess people have like, people have preferences, but fuck, like, if they're beautiful, they're beautiful. I don't know. Like, you're telling me that like you are never going to find a human that is attractive to you because of a certain ethnicity. Like, if you're, I don't know, we'll say white guys. If you are not into white guys, you do not like white guys. But like, you haven't, I don't know. You haven't seen them all. You don't know. I mean, like, I don't know. Moving on. That one's going to be that's a dicey topic. There should be child-free stores, coffee houses, restaurants, etc. That'd be an interesting idea. Like, what if they sold baby-free flights? Like, this flight is guaranteed not to have a baby on board. Or you could pay extra to be guaranteed that you won't be seated next to a baby. Why not? Like, there's smoking and not, but it's not dangerous to your health. Maybe it is your mental health. But you can't. That just wouldn't work. But it's a nice thought. In today's age, we won't encourage people to express how they truly feel, but instead tell them how to feel. Okay. this is off topic, but it reminded me of a story that I wanted to talk about. I was playing video games the other day, and this is how most of my stories start. I was playing video games by myself the other day. I had my headphones on because I have my Xbox in my bedroom, so I just put my headphone, plug it into my controller, and put my headphones on, so you can hear people in the chat, in the group chat. And there's like an 8-year-old on there that's just talking to himself. He's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. And he's the only one talking to himself, right? And then all of a sudden you hear this, that noise of a mic plugging in. And you hear a full-grown adult come over there. And the first thing he said, I'm pretty sure he was American, but he started saying, like, you stupid Americans always do this, that, and the other. And then spouts off every racial slur and, calls the kid gay, like all this different stuff. And the kid's just like, the kid kind of owned him because like, dude, I'm 8 years old, like, or however old he was. He's like, dude, I'm 8. And so then he's like, where are you at? And they meet each other up, right? And then the adult man is killing the other kid. Kid respawns, gets killed again. The dude's like, leave me alone. I'm a level so-and-so. I'll kick your ass, blah, blah, blah. And the kid's like, man, will you teach me? And the kid's like, no, get away from me. And I'm thinking the whole time, like, this is a full-grown man and an 8-year-old communicating. But in reality, it's 2 8-year-olds communicating right now. You know what I'm saying? Like this, and I think the general population, or a large percentage of the general population, just simply don't know how to communicate. They don't know how to communicate their feelings. They don't know how to communicate anything. And so they begin as like a kid that like a boy that likes a girl in school. Like they begin by being mean and insulting, and they think that that's the way to communicate and to make friends. It's like a shield that they put up. But in reality, like they want to make friends. They want to talk to people. They don't know how. So they put up this like defense mechanism of being just an idiot, like an asshole, to an 8-year-old kid. Like that's just absurd. Anyways, it moves forward. Like the kid's like, will you teach me? And then eventually he's like, all right, what do you want to know? And the kid asks him, by the end of it, the kid's like, I got to get off here. Can I have your gamer tag so we can play? He's like, yeah, kid, I'll send you my gamer. Like they end up being friends and plan on playing again later. But it all stemmed from this, like, all I can imagine is this poor, sweaty individual in a basement that doesn't know how to communicate with people in real life. So he spends his time playing on video games, communicating there because he doesn't have to in person. He can say what he wants. He can be anonymous, so on and so forth. And that's how he strikes up friendships. He calls them every name in the book and makes fun. It's just sad. It's like, I feel like there's a lot of people, way more than we realize, that have only communicated through the internet, or only have never grown past that 7-8-year-old level of communication, of making fun of each other first, and like, and then to contradict that, some of this, I don't know why I'm thinking about this, but to contradict that, like, I think at the same time, we've taught ourselves to be bullies. We've taught everybody to be bullies. Here I go with my opinions. Okay. We've taught everybody to be bullies because, and again, it's the internet. I blame everything on the internet. When we were kids, like the big thing was don't bully each other. And of course, like that we don't, I don't want kids to get bullied, but it's a part of how I grew as an adult, or grew into an adult, grew to be more mature, because I would do something to somebody and throw a stick at a kid, hit him, it made him cry. I hurt him. And I was like, man, that made me feel like shit. I don't want to do that again. Or somebody did that to me and I was like, man, that felt really shitty. I'm not going to do that moving, I'm not going to pass that along. It helps you deal with emotions, social interactions, so on and so forth. We've gotten to this point where we've like banned all bullying. We've fought bullying so long in schools, and we've taught everybody don't bully. But the internet has fueled this other outlet, and like Twitter, for example, the media. I saw this news thing that was like Twitter operates on different rules. If you sign up to be on Twitter, you sign up to operate by different rules. Basically, it was like people roasting each other, and it was like meant to be a funny thing. It was like, you know what, you're right though. Like, when you sign up for that, like you're now allowing that kind of behavior, and people think it's funny, the trolling and all of that. Everybody's like, oh, this is funny, we're making fun of each other, so on and so forth. Well, that's still like, there's still people on the other side of that. There's still people that are learning how to communicate through these interactions, and so we're seeing a lot of the results of that, and we've fostered just a different kind of bullying, and we just call it trolling. Some of it's funny, and so like, I don't want to be like overly sensitive. Look at my dog. If you're watching the YouTube, where's my finger? How do I get over here? Boop, boop, boop. There's my little Nora. Yeah, if you're watching the YouTube video, you can see my dog just barely sleeping in the background there. But we've created this system we've just diverted the bullying through another outlet, and then everybody pretends that it's okay. I didn't turn my phone off. This is why we need Stephanie here. Happy birthday, Stephanie, again. So cold weather is so much better than warm weather. I will tolerate the cold weather if it's snowing 100%. Oh, here we go. This one is relevant to me. There should be more male teachers in elementary/preschools. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe me when I say this. I was a preschool teacher for about 5 to 6 years, maybe shorter than that. Yeah, around 5 years, I think. I started out as a Montessori teacher, and then from there moved into another school that was trying to adopt that kind of idea. But basically, I was like, one of the only male preschool teachers in the state. Obviously, there's like not a lot of them, and I had Montessori experience, which was a big deal. If you don't know about Montessori preschools or Montessori schools, it's a philosophy of how to raise children, and basically everybody that goes to Montessori school becomes doctors and astronauts and shit. However, it's also become like a status symbol, especially in the area that I lived in. It was very much like, we can afford a Montessori school, like that kind of thing. But yeah, there should definitely be more male teachers in elementaries and preschool teachers, or amongst elementary and preschool teachers. The issue that I had, and one of the reasons that I left preschool teaching, was preschool is not like regular school. I got a job there. That should tell you. I was really, really, really good at being a preschool teacher. I'm really, really good with kids. And I think it's because I operate like a child. I communicate like a child. Again, I don't have communication skills, so I just do it like a child. But I can get on that level really easily. And being like a human cartoon character, they respond well to me. And but my problem with preschool was that like anybody with a high school diploma could sign up. I barely got a high school diploma, and I know people that, not saying that it's nothing, but it's the bare minimum. Like, you're not asking for much if you're asking for a high school diploma, especially whenever you're like teaching children. There's a lot that goes into it, especially whenever you have, raising one child, teaching one child is enough. But then whenever you have 20 of them in a classroom, like, it gets to be a lot different. And just because you popped out 4 kids, doesn't mean that you are going to be good at teaching preschool or have the ability to teach preschool. And so that's what I saw a lot of in that. And it ultimately made me bitter towards it. And like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. But I also was fortunate enough. I saw a lot of male preschool teachers while I was doing it. My friend that I'm working with in Salt Lake City, he actually was a preschool teacher with me for a little while. He was also really good at it. Yeah, and I think like the difference between what I noticed on let's say on the playground, was most of the men would run around and play with the kids on the playground, jump all over the swing set. They'd give them all piggyback rides. They're all just, we all had, I don't know, we're just dudes. We're just running around playing with the kids, and most of the female teachers would sit back and like stand on the yard with their arms crossed and a whistle in their mouth kind of thing. Or just kind of stand around and watch the children. When the children came up, wanted attention, they would give them that, or they might do a little something. But it was usually the men that were like physically involved with the kids and like playing with them and like doing activities with them. And it felt more like the men would tend to like get on the child's level and play on that level rather than be an adult. Not saying that women can't do that. Not saying that like that's just kind of the trend that I saw as a preschool teacher. Here's another one that's relevant. Again, we're on the unpopular subreddit still. We give too much appreciation to actors. I think we give too much appreciation to celebrities. Going back to our like opinion making or our thought processes when watching or listening to famous black belts, Renzo Gracie, Gordon Ryan. Gordon Ryan's a really good example because like, do you really think that Gordon Ryan has had that much real world experience in dealing with anything other than jiu-jitsu? Because I don't. I mean, like, you have to think about, do you think Renzo Gracie knows what it's like to be you, to live your life, to be in the position that I'm in, a broke ass gym owner? Like, I'm sure that he's gone through struggles and tough times, but he's also Renzo Gracie. Like, he came from the Gracie family, who is a prominent, well established family in Brazil, who was very wealthy before they even came across jiu-jitsu or created it, whatever have you. So I don't believe that Renzo Gracie has a lot of real world actual experience. I don't believe that actors, a lot of that, like do you think Shia LaBeouf, who was a child actor, has a lot of like real world adult experiences? I don't. I think that he probably had a lot of real experiences, and he probably had a lot of traumatic things that happened to him. If you watch that movie Honey Boy or whatever, like, he had a lot of like very real things apparently that happened to him, of course. And everybody does, but it's a different world. We live in two different worlds. Like, you can't, there's the elite and the haves and the have-nots, I guess, like that whole idea. And like, I don't think Gordon Ryan is necessarily like specifically blessed, or Renzo Gracie. Like, Renzo Gracie's worked hard for his money, the money that he has, and the gym that he's built, the name that he's built, all of that. Don't get me wrong. Like, these people have worked hard, but they've also had to give up and sacrifice a lot of things to get to where they're at. A lot of safety protocols, right? Like, whereas when I was growing up, my parents were like, you need to go to school, you need to get an education. After high school, you need to go to college, you need to have a backup plan. And I've always been like this person that like, I'm going to do like this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do these big things. Even as a kid, I was going to be a musician and I was going to be in a rock band. And my parents were always like, you need to have a backup plan. And I didn't, because I was an idiot. And I went into music. I didn't go to college. And then I didn't have a backup plan after that. Fell into MMA. Didn't have a backup plan then. And some would say that I still don't have a backup plan. But a person like Gordon Ryan is just, he comes from money to begin with. I don't think he's ever had to really worry about money. And from watching his stupid fucking Instagram clout chasing, whatever. Like, it seems like he's probably grown up with money. B, he's given up, like, he's given up a lot of things in order to pursue jiu-jitsu. A lot of really dumb things, I think, too, but one of them being education, one of them being real world experience, working a real job with real bosses, real managers. I've told this story before, but like, I was listening to NPR and they were going on about coming back after the coronavirus, the first wave, when jobs were starting to open back up. People were worried about going back to work. It's like, I don't want to it's still out there. I don't want to contract coronavirus. So the NPR solution, they had a guy come on and was like, what you need to do is call your manager or your boss and tell them, communicate with them. I don't feel comfortable coming back right now because of the coronavirus. When I do, then I'll come back. And they'll be willing to work with you and understand you. I'm like, have you ever fucking worked a real job in your entire life? Like, that is not how it works. There is no, are you kidding me? Like, I can't think of any corporation that's like, oh yeah, take as much time as you need. We understand. Everybody's a little bit worried. We'll pay you this whole time. No big deal. No, like, they're gonna be like, we need fucking money and we need you to make it. So get your ass into work. I don't give a shit if you're worried about your health. Are you kidding me? If we were worried about your health, we'd give you fucking health insurance, but we don't. So there's a group of people that that influence opinions that are just, they live on a different planet. It's like the Instagram influencers that are out like pretending to protest for Instagram clout or whatever, that kind of thing. And we allow ourselves to continue to be influenced by these people. That's the problem. Like, the problem is not that they're doing those things. Honestly, it's that we continue to perpetuate it and allow it to happen by eating it up. But I see also the tides changing too, because like a lot of people are, and they're calling these people out. They're doing something about it, which again is going the opposite direction now too, where it's this cancel culture and everybody's getting canceled immediately without thinking twice. And some people are trying to do the right thing, even though, I think like in the Daily Hiva example, I don't know the full story, but it would have been, I probably wouldn't even be talking about it had Daily Hiva said, you know what? I did wrong. I apologize. It wasn't okay for me to act that way. I feel like maybe I misread the situation, or maybe I didn't misread the situation. I was going, I was a scumbag and I need to change my behavior. Or, if you, then that, again, that's admitting guilt. So that's a whole nother side of it. But had he come out with something like that, I probably would have been like, you know what? Cool. I'll give you a second chance. But when you double down on your behavior like that, it's just, good luck getting a second chance at that, and there's some behavior that we can't allow a second chance to. So that's my ranting. We're an hour in, so apparently I had enough to talk about for an hour. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'm sorry that I forced all that upon all of our listeners. Hopefully we'll be back to normal next week, quote unquote normal. I think we're going to be at the Axe House again. We're going to try and fix our audio. Again, I apologize about that last episode. The audio is terrible, unacceptable. We're still learning our limitations of like traveling and stuff like that. So we're going to try and fix that next time, make that better. If you haven't checked out our Patreon, go check that out. It's picking up some steam lately. I'm going to release some of the ghost hunting video on there. Again, I'm not proud of the ghost hunting video. It's not all that great. But it's content. We'll be putting out some more. We're working on it. If there's something that you'd like to hear us talk about, a guest you want to hear on here, anything like that, hook it up on Patreon. Talk to us on there. That's one of the best ways to get a hold of us. We will always respond to those messages. And we usually respond to our Instagram messages too. Don't be afraid to reach out on there. But yeah, and go check out our YouTube channel too. We have recently committed ourselves to kicking that back off and doing the Instagram or the YouTube channel again. Just limitations and what we were able to do before. So that's about it. I hope you're having a wonderful week, and yeah, have a good one. See you next time.